It costs them at least $4,000 to hire a new employee. I'd rather deal with the problem that I have because at least I know how to whoop them and, put them in the basement.
Angelo Bryant, and here to advertise my book, Vacation in Brazil Cost Me Everything. It's available on Amazon Books, and it's also available on ACX and iTunes, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's my vampire book. This one is available on Amazon. I did do an audio book on the Vampire King, so forgive me for that. That was a quick plug.
Diversified Game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, yeah, you heard it right. And I got the book too. And I finished the book in one Sunday day. Like, I started right before church, kind of an interesting way to start the Sunday. And I had to finish it. And this book, it cost me everything. I thank Miss Demetra K because we were talking about the brothers who like to travel, whether you're a passport bro or a king or however you see yourself as a nomad. We were talking about it, and she said, I got a book for you. She sent this to me as a gift. I thank her. If somebody sends you a book as a gift, y'all read it. It might just change your life or at least get you an interview, and that might change your life.
Absolutely.
So, my brother Angelo, this
Yeah.
book, I mean, I know it said it was fiction. I'm not fully believing all of it was fiction. Can you tell us how you came about this book so you tell your story better than I?
Okay, so as you start, I tell a little bit about myself and how it all began. I did decide on taking a vacation, and I didn't know where I wanted to go. A buddy of mine did recommend Brazil. I knew nothing about Brazil, so he told me some places to check out, and one of them were Vila Velha. When I got there, it was beautiful, just like he said. Didn't know anybody and didn't speak the language. No one spoke English, and I decided to walk the beach, and no one was on the beach. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, no one was on the beach except for one woman coming the opposite way. Our eyes met, and me being who I am, I just went ahead and hey, asked her, did she speak English? And she said yes, she did, and a relationship started right from that point. We spent the rest of the day together, all the way till evening, having drinks, and walked her back to her hotel, planned to spend the next day with her, and it just went from there.
Okay. And I don't want to give too much of the book away because, again, that's why I had to finish it. Just how you got to that part of Brazil and not like, the Rios or the bigger cities. I want you guys to go in the book and see because it's going to take you on a whole turn. Really, this book, y'all. No, no, I'm not kidding. He ain't paid me to say this. He didn't hire me to do his PR. This is a movie right here. And it's a movie that, I mean, if he doesn't shoot it, somebody is going to shoot a movie on this book. But when this woman, the only woman on the beach that just happened to speak English and, you guys talked, did you just think being new that maybe, the majority of people in Brazil spoke English at that time, which we know is not the case, but where was your mind?
Well, that section of Brazil, I assumed it was all Brazilian Portuguese speaking people. I was assuming that no one spoke English. I mean, there were a few that I did hear, like if you go in a restaurant, it might be one person that spoke English only because of their background or whatever. But for the most part, I expected just to have my phone out and Google Translate. That's normally how I do it when I go other places. But for her to speak English and to speak it fluently, I just figured that was a blessing from God. So let me go with this chick.
Now, somebody said, man, he said a blessing from God, but I know some lust was in the air,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, it's interesting. Let's go here. Was this your first international trip? I know you work for the government, so you might have been all around the world. I don't know your job title or anything like that, but was this your first international trip?
Oh, no, not at all. That was probably like my 12th, 13th. I mean, because I traveled the world as a merchant seaman. So my ship just never went to Brazil. So that's why I was trying to pick somewhere different.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. Explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now, available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
Okay. And with that, you know, since you are a seasoned traveler, and I want to talk about that merchant seaman, just in case there's some young men out there who say, you know what, I'm interested in that type of career. What do I have to do? Let's go there just for a second. What do you have to do to become a merchant seaman? What age can you start and what type of credentials do you need?
Okay, so merchant seaman right out of high school, 18 years of age. Go to militarysealiftcommand.com and you can find all your information on that website. No experience needed. They will train you. There are at least 20 different fields you can go in after, you know, you get on your ship, you get your training. They just don't leave you there. You can branch out to be cooks. You can be electricians, refrigeration, elevator. There is numerous avenues you can go. You just don't have to stay like at the entry level. But at the entry level, I made $75,000 a year. At the entry level, that's cleaning rooms, that's going into mess decks, setting up tables, mopping after everybody eats, you know, cleaning up the officers' mess where all the officers eat at. It is, and you travel in the world. Some ships you have your own room. Some ships you room with other people, but then they give you additional pay for that. So at entry level, you can make close to 90,000 a year. If you have one of those rooms where you have to bump, it may be 4 or 6 of you in a room. So that's just additional pay. If you can handle that kind of thing. I couldn't handle that kind of thing.
Okay. And the jobs vary. But you were able to retire, and you were able to retire, you know, if you wanted to, but before, you know, most people at 65, which people, you're going to be bored. Everybody I'm talking to, except maybe 1 or 2 people, you know, and they have something else going on, are bored. So I always think about your second career. But with that, can you tell the people out there, male, female, to be able to retire means you put some money away, you put some savings. We hear a lot of people saying they retired, they mama, they daddy, and they're 15, right, on TikTok. Can you talk about any of the investments? And I'm sure it wasn't Airbnb, arbitrage, or Turo, because that didn't exist when you started. What investments did you like? I'm always preaching mutual funds and things that like Warren Buffett and them talk about, and Dave Ramsey, but that's not sexy. So maybe you got something sexier that you can share with the people.
Okay, so I was with the government for 38 years. Okay, so my retirement plan is where most of my money was put away from. In the beginning, I was borrowing off of that retirement plan, which I shouldn't have, but I did it because I was young and I didn't think that far ahead. But the retirement plan played so well that I was able to put up about $500,000. So with the government, there's different sections. I used to work for Naval Air Station in Alameda, and then Cherry Point Marine Base, and then to Jacksonville Naval Air Station. Well, about my 20-something years of being in Jacksonville, I had heard about the merchant seaman. So I got online and filled, you know, looking around and saw what they paid and saw that it was the same retirement system and the same payroll system and everything would be the same. I would just be going out to sea. So you do have to get like a merchant mariner's document, and that takes about 6 months. You have to get a TWIC card. That's something that truck drivers use to get in and out of different ports and stuff. So I did all of that. And then when I got on the ship, I lived there. I had sold my house. I moved in with my buddy and his wife because they had a 4-bedroom house. So they said, look, you can just have this room when you come. So I was able to stack like my whole check. So if I'm making 75,000 a year and only did it for 5 years, so most of that money was just, it was banked. And then, yeah, I had a few stocks, which I still do now. But you know, stock rises come up and go down. And so I'm making a little bit, but that's not my main thing. Earlier in life, I was flipping houses. I learned how to do that from a guy I used to work with. He did it. So I did a few houses, but that wasn't, it didn't pay off like my retirement plan and me just banking my money on the ship. Like a lot of guys on the ship, they had a room full of tennis shoes. I mean, that's all they do. They get off and they buy all the tennis shoes because in other countries, they're cheaper. Some of them are cheaper made, but some of them are cheaper. So, you know, they did stuff like that. Or of course, they spent their money on going out partying and having a good time with the women. And, you know, that can cause you to be broke. Some guys end up getting a whole nother family overseas, but that's a subject for a different time. But yeah, most of my money came from actually working in my retirement plan and then me becoming a merchant seaman and stacking my money.
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At cprfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Callan Cash Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at cprfirm.com.
Got you. I appreciate you sharing that because there's just so much, you know, bad game and lies. And folks would rather hear about a get rich quick than somebody who was able to do it the right way, didn't have to go scam and con anybody, and was able to, you know, however, you guys have to read the book, buy a house in Brazil, buy a house cash in Brazil. Y'all haven't even bought your cars cash out there. That's why I'm getting on you. I got to hit you over the head. He bought a house cash, 150, I believe it was, around that price. When you bought a house in another country and you saw the type of house, I know you describe it in the book. Let the audience know how, you know, I say we're suffering sometimes in America. I have, you know, property other places, and I'm like, what it cost me, you can't even get a box sometimes here for that price in certain areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my house, well, when I first met her and decided to go on vacation there, instantly I started looking at housing prices because that's something, like I said, I used to flip houses. So, and being on the ship and traveling all these other countries, I had a desire to live somewhere else than the United States, you know, because of the way we were being treated, you know, as Black men and getting shot on the regular. I just said it got to be better, you know, around the world than here. And the prices in Brazil were just so amazing. Now, in the big cities, like you fly into Sao Paulo, it was a lot more expensive. But we moved all the way down the coast. And I mean, we stayed right on the waterfront almost. It was a 30-second walk to the ocean. 157,000. Most of my money went to the taxes that I was charged for getting my money out early, for early withdrawal. So that's where most of my money got ate up. But yeah, to go in there, buy a house, 157,000. We bought a car for 12,000 cash, both of these cash, and living expenses to run our whole house, groceries, electric bill, water, clothing, $400 because she was tight with the money. I let her go ahead and put money in her account. I will say that I was only allowed to put so much in there. And that money, she stretched it like for months. But yeah, I was able to go in there and there were plenty of houses available now, plenty at that same price or not cheaper. But I did find out if I would have spent 200,000, I would have automatically became a citizen of Brazil.
Ah, wow. Okay. 200,000 and you get your citizenship. But does, and I collect citizenships. That's why you see the flags behind me, citizenship
Yep.
and residencies. But, a Brazilian citizenship versus your American citizenship. I mean, it's a plan B is a plan B, but it's not going to necessarily get you to a lot of places, especially with our blue passports. But if you were a citizen, could you have owned the property flat out, 100% on your own, or did you need her to do that?
No, and I could have had dual citizenship. So I could have kept my passport for the American, the blue book, and then I could have also been a citizen of Brazil, so a dual citizenship. I did not need her to buy the house. Anyone can come and buy a house in Brazil. I needed her for dealing with the different people, speaking the language, because her English and her Portuguese was spoken so well that it helped in many cases, where I even explained in the book sometimes where I had her say stuff or ask people questions that she just didn't want to do, but she understood, she was learning. So yeah, I really needed her just to deal with the people. I could have bought the house myself, but I probably wouldn't have done it or been bold enough to do it in an area where very few people spoke English.
And how long did you stay in Brazil, like your total time? And did you pick up the language a little bit, on your way of getting to being maybe fluent or close to it?
I want to say not at all, because I was spoiled by her speaking it so well. Her son was taking English in school, and so we were supposed to be teaching each other. But the fact that he was mad at me most of the time because I was trying to get him to do different stuff around the house, he only taught me when he felt like it. So I would listen to words she would say a lot. We watched a lot of TV in Portuguese, so I was able to pick up on keywords that you hear all the time. The same way she said that they learn English by listening to American music. It was kind of like the same way I was learning their language, because she would teach me. But it didn't go over well. Maybe just me and my age, I wasn't really paying attention. So no, I didn't. I was never fluent or even close to it.
Okay. And how many years did you stay out there?
I only stayed there 1 year. All this went down in 1 year.
Okay. And I'm trying not to give too much of the book away, because when you guys hear how this teenager, like typical teenager everywhere in the world, they sometimes don't want to talk to you until their video game goes out, and then it's hold on,
Yeah,
it's a problem.
Yeah.
So you guys, again, y'all can read this book, and I also like the book because of the font. It's a good size font for those of us who wear glasses, and your eyes won't be straining, whatnot. And so it's I'm just can't say enough about this if you want a fun read, because I read a book a week. Miles Monroe taught us that. But usually it's in business. So when you get to read something fun and find something you really enjoy, it's like taking me back to when we used to read books like the Hardy Boys as a kid.
Yep.
Now I'm dating myself, right? But that's okay. So I love the cover too. I put the cover. I'm in a house full of women, my wife, my kids, my sister-in-law, and I just wanted somebody to say something, and nobody said nothing, so I had to bring it up. When you got this cover, was this her? I assume this isn't her, because you didn't want to get sued, or hey.
That is a question I've been asked more than anything else, anything about the book. That is a Dominican behind you're looking at.
Okay. And you knew what you were doing when you put this cover on. How has your promotion gone, as far as, I know you're on Goodreads, and you mentioned some of the other outlets, and we'll have links in the description. But somebody see this on Barnes and Nobles, or some, even a local bookstore that's a smaller bookstore, this will catch their attention. So how has your marketing been?
It's only been on Amazon and word of mouth. I'm in no bookstores that I know of.
Okay. And have you pitched the library yet?
No, I have not. Once I wrote that book, I had got a writing bug. So once I put it on Amazon, a few friends that had read it loved it, and they started spreading the word. But I started writing my next book almost immediately, because I felt like this is what God's gift is for me getting out of this and going forward. Now I have maybe a new life in writing. So I constantly wrote. That's why I have like 6 books, because from that day, I never stopped writing.
Okay. Well, here's the teachable moment for everybody. If you guys have, followed me, you guys know when I have authors on, I always will probably say the same thing, but you have it on Amazon. That's great. If you don't have it on Ingram Spark, you're limiting yourself from libraries to being able to buy it at this point, because they don't typically buy from Amazon unless you do some big campaign. Usually it involves senior citizens. When I talk to librarians, that's what they say. And so going to Ingram Spark, not Ingram, but Ingram Spark, because that's where you won't get your chargebacks after the end of the year. I have a publishing company. So I took like half a year to study how this goes and how it works, because your family will see you have a book, they'll see some good reviews, and they think you're rich. It don't matter. And
Right.
books is not today's money. It might be tomorrow's money or a year, but it trickles in little by little. Even if you have a big publishing deal, I've talked to big authors and they're like, yeah, I got a bestseller. Guess how
Right.
much I profited? $13,000.
Right.
Ask John Acuff, who used to be a Dave Ramsey personality. He wrote it in his book. So I didn't make that up, y'all, nor do I know the man. I read it in a book to learn the game. So I, with, this story, and then you had other stories going, what is, what's the goal? Is it just to write books? Do you want to put movies? I think I was telling you, there's a conference here in South Florida called the NATPE, the National Association of Television Producers and Executives. All the buyers come out. You don't even have to buy a ticket sometimes. You can just rub elbows with people at the bar. What is your goal?
I would love to see my books in movies, or like this one, a Lifetime program. I just don't know the route to get it out there, to get it to where the masses can see it, other than word of mouth. Or I even tried to hit up someone on social media. I think on TikTok, I saw had a lot of followers to talk about my book, and just for them to display it on their website, on their site, and I never heard nothing back. So like I said, I set it aside and I just kept on writing. I figure, after time, your break will come. So I don't want to sit here and just harp on one book. I figure I had so many thoughts in my head, so much stuff in my mind, that I wanted to keep writing, because I felt that I had a gift now.
Got you. Well, from what I see, you do. Because I finished it. If it wasn't, a good book, I would not have finished this book. I think, though, and I know you're a believer, the thing is, faith without works is dead. So you wrote the vision down, made it plain, all that, but you got to put that work in. And of course, I'll tell you, from somebody who represents, content creators or even medical doctors, it doesn't matter. You sending DMs, they get 100 of them, especially if it's a popular person, 100 in an hour sometimes. And so if you didn't say, hey, I got X amount of dollars for you to do this, the AI filter doesn't even see it sometimes. So I just throw that out. But I gave you some free game for the NATPE done at the Fontainebleau. It's all Googleable. Y'all, I'm not selling tickets, so y'all don't hit me in the thing like I got a special. I got to buy a ticket just like everybody else.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
NATPE?
NATPE, correct. Yep. In Miami. There's a few conferences if you want to ever talk to buyers in movie or film, and it's also MIP, MIP, and there's also a MIP TV. Similar name, just Google each, because they all have their own websites, and those are usually done out of the country because TV is global. And so I love that for this book. Now, again, not giving too much away for this book, but do you have any contact with this woman at all? I know there's still some legal stuff going on, but any contact with her if you wanted to contact her, or does she ever try to hit you up? Because she did try to run you over. Baby, I'm gonna make y'all go read the book to see that. But
No, no contact with her. The last time, dang, I'll be giving it away though. But when I had her meet me in a certain spot, and we talked about her going to the police and telling them that she lied. That was the last conversation I had with her, because after that, she had got sent some paperwork about her embezzling the money, because the money I had put in I know I'm giving a lot of it away, but they need to know. The money that I had put in her account to run our house, by her putting me out of the house, now she's using that money for her own self and her son. And in Brazil, that's considered embezzlement. So that was the last, because she got a letter saying she was being sued for that. And after that, I never heard from her again. Nor have I tried to reach her. And I blocked her from all social medias, but I'm sure it's a way around that. She could get her sister or somebody to get online and find me, but no, I haven't heard from her.
Now, and you're talking to somebody who, again, I've been married for 17 years, known my wife for over 20, but I've been suing somebody in Kenya who tried to lie on me as well when we did some business. Somebody I knew 2 days, right, on a work thing, and we're filming and everything is around, and lied because the business that we invested in, that we wanted to invest in too. Didn't go the way it was supposed to. And what I found out from my lawyers is people will say anything to get out of something. Because I've never had to sue anybody here in the States, but they'll lie on you and say, oh, well, this person was this to me and that to me. And you're like, I never was alone with you. I was never like, what are you talking about? And I got you on an interview, right? And we're talking about business. Has this made you feel a certain way towards, women, or maybe even just, Brazil, because, the system doesn't work like here in America?
Well, okay. The way I think that hustle is hustle. We got the American hustle, they got the Brazilian hustle, they got, every country has their way of hustling. Most countries try to hustle Brazilian men because they know they go Brazilian men. I'm sorry, American men, because they know they do go out looking for women in other places, like Colombia is popping right now. I think we all over there. One of my buddies went there and said it was nothing but all men on the flight going over to Colombia. So those people, they have to hustle. I mean, it's like all that money is coming to them. And if they can get a sucker, they're going to take them. Or they have scams already set up where they set the men up and then they get robbed sometimes. So it's just a hustle. I figure I don't have anything against Brazilian women. If I met another one, I would probably still date her, because everybody's not the same. Her situation was just being poor and then meeting somebody that had so much more than her. I think she felt jealous sometimes because of what I'm able to do, in my life. And, she just didn't have the opportunities, but she had them, but then she let them slip away because of greed. So.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about, somebody might hear this story and they'll say, oh, just another passport bro who got what he deserved, trying to go out there and get some, some legs, some thighs, some breasts. What do you say to people who are, every night talking on different platforms saying, why are Black men especially, but it's not just Black men, but why are American men leaving the country to go get foreign women?
Well, leaving the country to go get foreign women is something like a pleasure, because you know what you're dealing with in the U.S. And the way the U.S. has changed, it's more women balling out of control, seems like, than men. So you go over there, it's a lot easier. They're very passive. They cater to you because they want your money. They want to make you feel good in hopes that maybe you'll fall in love and want to marry them and bring them back to the U.S. In my experience, like being in so many different countries, that's what they talk about when you talk to them, if they even speak English. Most of the conversation is like America. I have a friend there, I have a family member there, I would love to go there. And then they do what they have to do to make you feel like, hey, maybe I could bring this one home because she's fine. Everybody want to bring that, that special woman back. But I think guys just get tired of American women, just like American women get tired of guys. So, that's why Stella went and got her groove back over in Jamaica. No, I don't know if that's the case, but it could happen like that.
I do. I know because I've met Terry McMillan and been in her house as a young man, and I got to I she didn't let me do a full interview because I was doing interviews then too. But actually she didn't want to talk. She kind of hurt my feelings. I said I ain't talking about no business. But Jonathan, I think that was his name. He was already gone by then, I believe. But no, but also because I want to make some things clear that sometimes people just hear these stories and then there's the story, oh well, they only want to go down there to get young, poor, dumb women. Why don't they go down there and get a woman of their age who's already established? They could get a president or somebody who has a Fortune 500 company. Why don't we ever hear the stories of them getting a rich woman in these countries?
I don't know if they're around those type of people. Like when you go there, you may not know where all the rich people hang out. You go kind of like where the tourists hang out, or someone recommends you go to this particular place. Like my buddy told me to go to Villa Vela. Villa Vela is not a rich city, but it's a beautiful city on the beach. And that's normally where we go. We go somewhere where it's nice atmosphere and it's on the beach. Because I love Villa Vela. And I don't know who was rich and who wasn't rich because nobody spoke English. So I had to go with the flow. So if I went to another country and somebody recommended, I go visit this lady, she's a nice lady, got her own business or something, I would go over there and visit her. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get along with her. She may be one of those, I'm a boss, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And most men be like, I could get that at home. I don't want that at home. I just want this little excitement, and then I'm going back home. And if I have a good time, I'm coming back again. But they don't want someone who's going to boss them around in another country. I just can't see it.
So it's the power structure of the money. If somebody has, and we see this even with anywhere. If somebody has the money, the less stuff they got to take from somebody else is, typically I don't have to take that. I don't live in that world just because I'm a king in my world, right?
Right.
And so I understand that people are going to be people, even children are going to barely want to listen to you after a certain age and have to hit their head. But what we do see a lot of times is internationally, children, I don't care, Africa, Asia, they're more humble to listen to their parents. And, there's something in the American spirit that people just want to lean on their own understanding. They're right in their own eyes. That's scripture for you. That's not my words. Have you checked out any of the African countries and seen if that applies to African women who were born and raised in Africa?
No, I have not checked out any African countries. I wanted to go there. I wanted to go to Ghana because somebody on Facebook, I saw pictures where they went to Ghana, and I thought, oh man, that looks like a great place to start. But no, I have not. Oh, I have been to Djibouti, Africa, but that's because my ship pulled in there. That was an experience. Had no idea it was like that. But again, they had beautiful women there, but very poor. Didn't speak English. So it's the same thing pretty much all over the world. Unless you're going to be fluent in a bunch of different language, you're going to be starting from the bottom. So.
Gotcha. Do you have a book, for Djibouti that's like this?
No, I don't. I never, we were in Djibouti a lot. I probably could put something together, but I don't think anyone would believe what I saw there.
Just the name alone would have people, you could, write it out a certain way. But I've had a military friend, and I remember first time he got there because it was his first African country, and he's like, "Man, I got a girlfriend. All I had to do was buy her a bedroom set." I said, "No, my brother, it's not a girlfriend. You are a customer, and be careful because don't think what could happen in the DR or Colombia. I did Colombia last year for the first time. Beautiful. I was with my family though, so it was
Right.
a different experience. And, going to Palenque, the African town, it's like, wow, like, the colonizers have done wonders on the whole world. But
Mm.
Djibouti, I can see a story because I know you got some. The way he smiled and then he thought back, yeah, there's some stories
Oh, yeah.
there. But I would say Africa, and another teachable moment why the Sierra Leone flag is behind me is we were able to get citizenship in Sierra Leone a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And they do that twice a year. If you do AfricanAncestry.com, that's a Black-owned ancestry company by the wonderful and great Gina Page. They don't even store all your data after, but the president will hand you a passport if you get Sierra Leone, and then you can kind of decide if you want to be in Sierra Leone or not. There's pros and cons of that depending on where you are in your life and what your pocket is like.
Mm.
Um, what's a community give back that you're doing or that you would like to do in the future?
Community give back, meaning the community I'm in or the community I come
It could be
from.
global. It could be
Oh,
global. Yeah.
I don't know. When you mentioned that the other day, I thought about it, and I guess at my age, I just don't have any thoughts on that right now. I really don't. I'm just still trying to make things happen in my life, so I'm still moving forward. So maybe as time go on and I hear about different projects or something that I feel like I can really be involved in a positive way, I don't want to just jump into something just to say I'm doing something and I don't love it. So maybe helping like young kids write who want to be writers or something like that, because my story in school, I never did well. I mean, if I got a D and I passed that class, I was happy. So for me to be able to write books it's a God-given gift. So if something like that, I think I could give back to showing kids how to express themselves in thought, how to write a book. Like when I first wrote this one, I wanted to write it like a Tyler Perry play. You laugh in 1 minute, you're crying the next, you're mad about the next scene, and then you're laughing again. And I just wanted an emotional roller coaster. I felt like that was really good writing. And then that way, that could lead straight into a movie or a series because everything is there. You just have to set up the scene and where they're at and what the weather is and what's in the room and all of that. But yeah, just maybe teach some kind of writing class or something like that.
Well, I know, and I'm not going to say what you do, but this man is still traveling. Travel is just in him, professionally and personally. But, if you are ever stationed somewhere where you have some time, there are government contracts that are always looking for people to help kids. If it's not after school, it's after they come out of prison. We've been
Ah,
blessed to have, I won't even want to say the amounts of money just because people say, wait, you can, well, I will say you guys can make close to $10,000 a month if you can find the right contract for working 2 days a week. It's not that it's every day, but it when it comes, you're happy. You're happy. So to help kids coming out of situations and teaching them you have proof, and also the public speaking scene, going to like TED Talks or what's free, Toastmasters. Anybody can do it. And you learn at Toastmasters not just how to be a better speaker, which we all can learn and be better, but you also are around people who are doing it professionally. And what I tell people, do 3 to 6 months of a Toastmasters. Go to a few ones, pick one that you like. Usually they're free. If there is a fee, it's a small amount, unless you're doing like a banker's Toastmasters, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But after Toastmasters, you go to a thing called the NSA, the National Speakers Association,
okay.
and they teach you. You can rewind this interview back. You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
why
no,
I'm
I have to
saying
keep
it like
writing.
I'm saying it.
I'm used to
But yeah,
taking notes.
the NSA, and they show you how to get paid for real. Toastmasters was help you with a gig, if you stay in it and you stay consistent like anything. And I think that's the issue with even our relationships, whether they're romantic or not. People want the quick fix. They come in for something and they just want it to be kind of like how you met her on the beach. Boom, we hit it off. And then when things get hard, hey, tira la puerta, like you got to get out the door. And it's like that's not how it works, because you'll keep recycling. It costs them at least $4,000 to hire a new employee. I'd rather deal with the problem that I have, because at least I know how to whoop them and put them in the basement. We don't have no employees, so I can talk like this.
Oh,
We
okay.
got we got team members.
I was like,
Everybody
what?
around me is a boss of their own.
Right. Okay. That sounds better. 'Cause I was like, this don't sound right. The dude done changed on me in the middle of the interview. Okay.
Yeah. I had to do that for the algorithm so they can clip that and say, "Oh, hear what he talking about." You got to go crazy now just to teach people something.
Right.
But no, it's from Toastmasters to NSA to the NATPE to what was the other one I mentioned? It was another one down there, y'all. Oh, Ingram Spark. You guys have got some game to, get this book, but also you got some game to work on your own game. Let the people know where they can find you, because I want to save something for when Oprah comes to you or when Sway comes to you. I want to save them some game that they can go on something fresh. I could go all day on this book, but let them know where they can find you and any last words that you have.
Okay, you can find me on TikTok, Surrett10, SURRETT 10. I'm on IG, but I'm never on IG. So I'm not, I think it's vacation_Brazil. The vacation_in_Brazil, I think, for vacation in Brazil, IG. Other than that, just Facebook. My name, Angelo Bryant. You can find me on Facebook, where I advertise, and there are links to all my books on Facebook, so you can buy them. Right. If you have a Kindle, I believe you can get my books and read them for free if you have a Kindle on Amazon Books. So all my books are on Amazon. Working on quite a few. If you don't mind, this one here. Just completed it. It is My Three Sons. You see, it's much thicker than the other one. So I learned how to write these 400-page novels. This one is one of those Tyler Perry type books I was talking about. You laugh in one moment, you're crying the next, you're mad. This one here, my Vampire King, very first one. Science fiction. Let me just say that to people, because a few folks said it seems so real because of his face. This is a very good book, very entertaining. It's about the city of Oakland, because I'm from Oakland, California. So everything revolves around the Bay Area. The second one is Vampire King 2. It's the second part of the first part. I don't know if you can see this gentleman here. That's the Vampire King's son. He's the closer, the fixer. When the Vampire King has a problem, he calls his son, because his son is half vampire, half witch. Vampire King got caught up. Just like we get caught up. See, that's what people don't realize. But I write the way things happen to me. I wrote the Vampire King getting caught up by the witch, because I got caught up, and so you go through things in life, but it's like how you come out of them. Like just now, from me losing as much money as I did over in Brazil, God gave me a chance to get that money back. So he gave me a job, which I don't have to go to all the time. And I've already recovered almost all the money that I lost. So it's just a matter of hanging in there and keeping going. Don't just stop just because you had a problem. Like Hidden Secrets. This is another one. This is actually based on a true story. A girl I met told me about something, because we were going story for story on our lives. And I told her about the vacation in Brazil. She was like, I could beat that. So Hidden Secrets is based on a true story. I couldn't remember everything she told me, but this one here is one of those tear jerkers too. So that's where you can find me. I appreciate you, man, for even reading my book and reaching out to me. Because the lady you told me about, she did have the opportunity to interview me, but I guess she chose not to, or.
Well, everything is timing, and what publicists, what they tell me is I'm a good a warm-up interview, because I'm not trying to go and ask you, what felonies and this and that. You know, I won't disrespect their clients because that's not the point of why I do what I do. And you know, I said Sway intentionally because you being from Oakland. So Sway, I'm from the town. You know, ask about me in the Twomps. Ask about me in 61st Street. They won't know me. It's been too long, but you can ask Flint's about me. You can ask Everton Jones and S&S
Flint's on
about me.
66th Avenue.
Huh?
Flint's on 66th Avenue.
I'll just say, ask them about me. They'll know my face, right? Ask the Wards about me. Ask the Coleman. You ask about me. Those who need to know will know. So that's why this was a town business interview, y'all. I didn't want to throw out you being from Oakland because my cousin told me, he said, you know, I tell everybody I'm from like Antioch now because they don't pay to be from Oakland.
Oh,
Folks are hiding their jewelry, you know.
But, you know, when you from somewhere, you represent it. Like I sent Sway, I think 2 of my books, but I never heard from him. I don't know if it went to him or his people, but I never heard from Sway.
Okay. Well, again, and it's a timing thing, right? Because like we just said, all those other things that you can do and you get ready. So when you do get on the big stage, when you do get on the big stage, when you do, it's not, I didn't say if, I said when you get on the big stage, you're ready for the libraries, you're ready for the movies, you're ready to do the public speaking. And now that means you don't get ripped off too, because you've done the prep work where, you know, ask Yuckmouth how many times, you know, he wish he would have known what he knows now about the music industry. And you like to ask Numbskull because he's still right there in Oakland or LA, but the industry and the game wasn't good to them because you got to know some things and develop fully. So, you know, it's just you doing your work. And I can't wait to see more of it and more interviews. And this does not have to be a one-time thing. I just didn't want to give people too much. I want them to go to Amazon. I want them to get this book. I want you to share it. I'm definitely going to do our parts to share it. But y'all, like this game. Comment on this game. And most importantly, share this game with somebody. It will change their life. Y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the violence? Tired of the injustice? Police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. So opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.